Oh, let me share. You want me to load this up here now?
You can, yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. We are just going to give a few minutes for everybody to get loaded in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We've got a good webinar for you for our webinar Wednesdays today with LG. So just give a few minutes and we'll get started. And Naveed, I'm sitting over here making sure all of my stuff is prepared and realize I'm being a bad host. I'm supposed to be sharing my screen first. Let's see, we have just a couple more minutes. Make sure everybody can get on. All right. We will go ahead and get it started. Let me share my screen, which for whatever reason won't let me share just the presentation. That is super fun. So let me move this so that you guys won't be looking at the V space twice. And let's see what we got. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Yes,
perfect.
thanks.
All right, so welcome to the afternoon version of our webinar Wednesday series. It's Zintergo here. We have LG on with us today. I'll get to intros in just a minute for LG. Thank you guys for joining with us today. Come on, it's the computer. All right, we still do have our Work Has No Boundaries giveaway going on. We've got a Bronco that we're giving away, if you guys haven't heard, for 2022. That is happening, gosh, in the next couple months at this point. We do have our 2023 drawing coming. We don't know exactly what it's going to be yet. Maybe it's a Bronco, maybe it's something else. But as we get more of that, we'll have you guys sign up at XenTegra.com. So definitely feel free to go out and take a look. I want you to, for the people who don't know, give everybody an overview of Zintergo, what we do, and make sure that you guys are well versed on that. We are a value-added reseller who also performs professional services, and we're very intent on making sure that you've got a full solution, not just a piece of the puzzle, right? But taking your pieces that you already have, the pieces that you bring in through us, the pieces that you bring in through, you know, maybe others, and basically putting it all together so that you have a full solution. So talking with LG is a big piece of that today that we want to make sure that we go through. As we know, all of these puzzle pieces need to fit together. So I am Harvey Green. Yes, I am the third. That's my official title there, wearer of many hats. I am out of Fort Mill, South Carolina. For those of you not around the area, that's basically Charlotte. Been in the industry at this point for a little over 20 years, which makes me feel old every time I say it. 15 plus years in varying customer positions. So been on the partner side for about 6 at this point. Solutions architect for Zintegra, also run the government side of the business, Zintegra Gov. That's state and local government, as well as education and some federal. I got my last bullet on here: LG monitor at home, LG fridge, LG washer and dryer. I'm representing LG, not even on purpose.
It's shameless. That's so shameless. That's shameless, bro. We appreciate your business.
I know you do. So about Zintegra a little bit more. Again, we're a value-added reseller with a very big emphasis on value added. This webinar that you're a part of today is definitely a testament to that. We do a lot of things for our customers to make sure that they are educated and empowered. Again, webinars like this are a piece of that. We also have workshops and podcasts and all kinds of other things that we do for our customers, down to, you know, including you in some of our on-site in-person events, like going to, you know, baseball, basketball games, hockey games, things like that. So definitely look out and visit Zintegra.com to get some more information around all of the things that we do. We do also, as we talk through a lot of those things, we do consulting services. So we've got a team of expert consultants that have been in IT for a long time, some even much longer than me, that are more than happy to jump into whatever environment you have, whatever implementation, whatever setup you have, and help you kind of connect the dots and fit the pieces together. If you need more hands-on than that, we have managed services where we can actually take care of the care and feeding for your environment on a day-to-day basis, if that's what you're looking for. If you need even more than that, we do hosted services as well, where we actually host the hardware for you in our data centers. and in one or more than one of our data centers, so that you've got redundancy as well, and basically take care of the care and feeding of the hardware and the software for you. So lots of options there. We also do complementary micro assessments, where you work with one of our solutions architects like me, to help figure out what is best practices in your environment, what needs to be shored up, what needs to be upgraded, redeployed, any of those things to help you be more secure, help you be set up in a best practices way. So again, we work across a bunch of different architectures. You can see at the bottom there are a few of our partners: Citrix, VMware, Microsoft, Nutanix, ServiceNow, iGel, LG's on. We'll talk about iGel in a minute, as a part of that conversation, but I won't go through all of that yet. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Naveed, who, for everybody who hasn't met him yet, man, one of the most boring people on the planet. If cardboard boxes had a face, it would be this guy, and you'll be able to tell that in just 20 seconds. Naveed, how's it going?
Good, man, and I appreciate that. I don't know how quite to classify what you say about me anymore. It's starting. I don't know if it's born of friendship, great partnership. I'm gonna choose to identify it as just the bedrock of great partnership between our organizations, and working with great people. That's how I'm going to look at it today. And I'll leave the facetious stuff for after this call, and you'll be subject.
No, you won't.
But
wait, you're sharing your screen, right? I can see it, but everything looks so wide. Why does it look so wide?
Oh, that's very nice. Harvey is folks, for the folks on the phone, Harvey is angling at me to get his hands on the 49-inch ultra wide LG curved monitor that I have sitting on my desk, and it is a great machine for those of you in a multitasking environment who want to put together a streamlined workflow there. So thanks for that. Again, another wonderfully shameless plug and undetected shameless plug from our friend Harvey there.
I'm still waiting on mine too.
Yeah, okay. So
truth be told, I do have a 38. 38 is all I need. I don't need 49. That is more than I need in my little world.
49 is actually too big. We'll touch on that. It is really too big for a salesperson. It's way too big. So for the folks on the phone, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Naveed Faryar, and I manage LG's IT outfit, really, on the East Coast of the United States. I'm in the field introducing our technologies to new partners, new technology partners, channel partners, and facing our customers directly in the field as well. So like Harvey, I am a wearer of many hats, but very loyal to our cause, and happy to be here in front of you today talking about the partnership that has come to fruition between our organization and XenTegra's. And before I kind of dive into the meat and potatoes of this presentation, I would tell a story that I've been with LG for about 4 years now, and about a year in, as I was trying to grow our client computing presence that we'll feature in this presentation, I had a chance to meet with the founder and CEO of XenTegra, Andy Whiteside, and we had some great conversations around the direction that their company is moving in organizationally, the way LG sees the future of the endpoint. And I can always say that one of a bright mentor of mine once told me that if you're going to sell technology, make sure you work for a company that makes good tech. As simple as they could put it, and that's very true of LG. A cutting edge organization that is going to continue to evolve with the trends in the market, and as specifically as it pertains to your virtual desktop cloud computing environment. And that's what we're going to talk about here today, and how XenTegra and LG can be a great partner to your organization. Kind of to piggyback on what Harvey was touching on and how he has so many different LG appliances in his home, LG is a super large organization. If you were to think about where you see our logos, even if you were to move, if you were to travel abroad, you'd see a lot more. LG is comprised of 118 outfits, bringing in well into the hundreds of billions of dollars annually. So it is we have transitioned that into a small group here in the United States that we would call our B2B LG Electronics commercial business. And that is comprised of the IT business unit that I'm a part of. And that is founded in the desktop display, I would say. And for anyone out there who is dealing in the at the endpoint level, dealing with desktop systems engineering of any sort, I could tell you that any piece of glass that you're putting in front of your worker was made by LG. Now it might have a different label on it, but LG is one of the 2 or 3 preeminent manufacturers of the LED panel globally. So we'll get into how we fit into that space and how we can partner with you guys briefly in this discussion, because I think it's an important segue to our cloud computing discussion. From a PC perspective, we do make, on the commercial side, the lightest production notebook PC in the world. It's called the LG Gram, and we will take a small look at that during this presentation as well. But we're mainly here to talk about what LG has come to market with, known as the cloud device, for all intents and purposes, client computing. And we branded it cloud device because that's the direction. All of these workflows are all going to be sitting in the cloud at some point, or if it's AWS, Azure directly, if you're using Citrix Cloud to house your VDI environment, all of these devices are all going to sit in some sort of desktop as a service eventually one day, and we want to make sure that we're in lockstep with that ideology. We do make phenomenal short throw and long throw 4K Ultra HD projectors, and we also work very diligently in the clinical and diagnostic monitor, surgical monitor space, in the healthcare space too. So that's something we're going to touch on, and we will touch on healthcare a little more specifically throughout the course of this conversation. So yeah, just to illuminate what we're doing in the desktop space right now, if you'll take a look at our different categories of PC, we have the ultra-wide branded demographic here, and part of that is our curved technology. So that 49BL95C is the device that Harvey's talking about that's sitting on my desk. It is definitely overkill and has has some unique use cases. But outside of that, we do have anywhere between 34 and 49-inch ultra-wide curved displays. Great to encapsulate any type of peripheral vision for multitasking workflows. For those who prefer the standard ultra-wide panel, we do make identical displays in that field. For our creatives out there, the ultra-fine UHD category is something that we are growing rapidly, and just this last year now, we've announced the first desktop OLED displays. Right. So now, if you go to a store and you see a desktop, if you see an OLED TV, know that LG now at the 27 and 32-inch in spectrum, we make an OLED display for the desktop. Harvey, I know what you're thinking. Don't even get any ideas. It's not happening. We aim to target so many different markets, and again, this is in the B2B commercial space. The ultra gear category would be our gaming monitors, and with esports becoming such a huge movement in for universities, even K through 12, we're really seeing a lot of traction in this space as far as LG creating the right partnerships with EA Sports and starting to create a lot of buzz around our commercial gaming displays. Your traditional PC monitors, we can always have a discussion around. I think you'll see that based on the fact that we're still that preeminent manufacturer of these displays, we're able to beat some of the product shortages that are coming into the marketplace right now and provide a more competitive price point than a lot of our constituents in this space. Again, we're going to talk about cloud devices today ad nauseum. So I want to, we'll pass over that. And then again, medical and clinical diagnostic displays is also a relatively new business that LG's been in for the last 10 years now, and growing rapidly. I'd say probably 40% more cost effective than your traditional Barco solutions in that space as well. So if that's something anyone on the line wants to discuss down the road, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to address those conversations.
Let me
let's talk
jump
about
in really quick, Naveed. Sorry, I know I'm interrupting, but two quick things.
No, by all
number
means.
one, I am paying attention to the question and answer box. So if you guys have questions, you can load it into the question and answer box or the chat box, or if you decide you want to ask your question in person, you can raise your hand, and we'll give you the ability to talk so you can ask your question. So three different ways we can do that. And just from this slide, coming from somebody who has a 38 wide, 34 is the sweet spot. As you can see, they've got a lot of 34s too. So sorry, go ahead.
So I guys, folks on the phone. No, folks on the phone. So Harvey, I can't see the chat window because I'm full screen right now.
Yep.
So
I got you.
Everyone, please raise your hand. Harvey will relay any questions to me. We love to have an open forum type discussion here. Anything pops into your cabeza, please let us know. We want to address it and have an open forum discussion with you, because your voice is the one that matters the most. So where do we, to kind of discuss where we fit in and partner so well with XenTegra is in this area. XenTegra being one of the preeminent Citrix organizations in North America. We started these discussions around how, and this was in 2018 really, how workflows for virtual desktop users are evolving, and that's in the pre-COVID world. And we sat down and started to have conversations around some of the technologies that LG was coming to market with. So I'll tell you that in 2011, LG wasn't in the thin client space. We made 0 clients, still leveraging our display technology as kind of the foundation of that business. By 2017, as some of the protocols that are becoming preeminent in the VDI space are starting to change, we decided that we need to evolve and adapt, and we came to market with a line of thin clients, a simple small form factor box, a simple 24-inch all-in-one, and we did feature a 38-inch all-in-one at that time. We did not come to market with unlike our competitors in the PC space, Dell, HP, Lenovo, they all have their own proprietary Linux operating system, which is Linux is always going to be the best move as far as managing and operating your endpoint devices. And we'll get into that discussion a little bit down the road. But we partnered with an organization called iGel on the iGel here, and because iGel was the fastest growing hardware agnostic edge OS, has a small footprint, extremely secure and easy to manage. And that was iGel. Because iGel was growing at such a rapid rate, we decided we were going to invest sales marketing dollars all into iGel. So by 2020, we had evolved our hardware portfolio now to what you see. We're leveraging that 34-inch ultra-wide display now with an integrated webcam that has a client, iGel-ready client integrated into it. We're capable of manufacturing these machines with Windows 10 IoT as well, but we love to have these conversations that are specific to the ecosystem that we're working in with iGel and XenTegra and Citrix. So those are great conversations that we're looking forward to having with the folks on the line here today. And you'll see that once you attach an LG endpoint to this, you'll start to get, it confounds the understanding of what the virtual desktop environment is supposed to look like: sleek, cost-effective, long-lasting, efficient. So let's talk about what happens after 2018, right? As of 2020, half the companies in the world don't have a plan to adhere to any type of emergency downtime strategy. 90% of those companies say that working from home is the primary option when we can't go to the office. We get that, right? COVID happens, all of a sudden, everything that makes sense to people who are working on-prem and just deploying fat client PCs and the heavy legwork that is attached to that, that all starts to evolve and that starts to change. And I think it opens a lot of doors for more common sense discussions that should have been happening years before, but now are happening rapidly. So what we want to talk about is how remote work has accelerated, organizational plans for hosted desktop. And now we're talking about improving the experience of the end user, because we all know that our end users sometimes are not the most tech savvy people. They're not ready to have important discussions around what their end user experience is. That's not their job, but their time and the amount of money it costs to operate an endpoint for them, that is the business of every IT organization around the world. So definitely things to consider while we move into talking about our line card of thin client hardware. So that being said, I'm going to let a little video run here. Harvey, you got audio on this? Is it coming in?
I don't.
Interesting. That's okay. There are no words. Thought I said I'm choosing audio. You know what it is? Maybe I think my volume on my yeah, you know what it is? I think the volume on my screen is down, and I think it won't share the volume here. But that's all right, folks. So
why don't you play classical piano for us?
No, Jeremy. I used to be a classical pianist, folks, and Jeremy is just poking some fun at me. Funny. But yeah, as you see here, this is the original line card that we came to market with, right? A small box type, a 24-inch, a mobile thin client, and a 14-inch mobile thin client, and a 38-inch all-in-one curved display. A lot's changed since then. So now you're looking at, we have a 38-inch all-in-one display, but now we have a flat panel, 34-inch, 27-inch, 24-inch displays, all that have integrated webcams. We have medical grade white that you can clean with embedded RFID readers, Imprivata ready machines, really evolving our mobile thin client portfolio as well, 14, 15, 17-inch thin clients. We're keeping the compute spec very consistent with our Linux offerings and our Windows offerings, just to set a standard for organizations that are operating effective VDI use cases, and that this way they'll be able to set a standard for that endpoint very comfortably and operate within the confines of their network effectively, right? So that's what we're really driving at here. Now, what separates us from our competitors? LG, we really do we lean on the all-in-one technology for our client computing department. We have a patented, when people hear the term, I know some people on the phone might be familiar with the term IPS. IPS stands for in-plane switching, and in-plane switching is applied to LED panels all over the world. Now, it is a patented LG technology, which angles your LED pixels in a certain direction that doesn't compromise your image. If you were to move off, if you were to look at an image head on, and then if you were to move a couple of feet to the left, a couple of feet to the right, your image would be traditionally compromised if you were looking at a traditional LED or LCD display. With IPS LED technology, that image would not be compromised. So anytime you are in front of an older LED display, feel free to veer off to the left or right and see what happens to that image, and you'll be shocked to see. More benefits of having an all-in-one workstation. Real estate becomes such a harping point, especially now that we're have this back to work movement, right, where everyone's going back to the workplace, and we're outfitting new commercial real estate. So we need to have discussions around real estate and how we're going to manage that space on the desktop. More importantly, we're still deploying units to people at home now, and they don't want to take out a PC, 2 monitors out of a box that's being deployed from an organization. That's a lot of lifting for the IT departments. You don't want to, with XenTegra, we put together programs that can allow you to deploy simple VDI endpoints to your home users without touching the box yourself. And we can talk about that a little later on. But every single workstation that we do make, every kind of 24 or 27-inch thin client that we do make, because we're, you know, elite manufacturing, display manufacturing organization, naturally we make a sister display that matches it, you know, to create a great feel of uniformity in your environment. So that is something we've been doing since we've been making thin clients. But to move away from that thought process, we love the idea of having one single pane of glass, whether it's a 38-inch ultra wide curve or a 34-inch flat panel now, that we're able to create a very streamlined and effective work from home, collaborate. You know, collaboration in Zoom is such a big thing now. So if we're able to, instead of deploying a PC and 2 monitors and a webcam and all this other stuff, if we're able just to deploy a single pane of glass, this 34-inch ultra wide virtual machine, and have a webcam that pops in and out and you can operate seamlessly, then that's what we want. We want to create that ease of work for our IT partners all across the globe. So one of the big selling points of these machines is their energy consumption, right? So once you're running a virtual machine like this, running a small footprint, secure Linux OS, and then taking into consideration that, you know, that it's a fanless design, very little failure rate, very little power consumption, very little noise, you're going to be, not only you're investing in a sleek piece of hardware and a great look, you're investing into the total cost of ownership of this device, and inevitably really juicing up your ROI on any of these devices, right? So that's what we aim to do. As I'd mentioned previously now, from a physical security standpoint, we have this great, beautiful pop-up webcam that pops in and out of the bezel. So many people are concerned with their camera being turned on while they're not using it, right? Pop it right back down into the bezel, problem solved. And we are, of course, keeping up with the most recent trends in connectivity. So Wi-Fi and Bluetooth integration, USB Type-C, built-in speakers and microphones. And obviously LG, from an ergonomic standpoint, is second to none as it pertains to the desktop display. So we're really, I think, on the cutting edge of any type of VDI endpoint here. A little look at what we're doing as opposed to the competition. Yeah, Dell makes a 24-inch all-in-one. I think HP does now too, but they're not investing into, again, they're not elite display manufacturing companies. So that kind of gives us the leg up, especially as it pertains to, you know, if we're working with, you know, you want to work with best of breed in every single category of VDI. Yeah, you know, manifest an ideal Citrix environment, and then attach, in my opinion, a tool like iGel to manage and repurpose older devices, but then manage newer devices, say LG endpoints. And that, I think, is what is a new a la carte best in breed strategy that I think a lot of organizations are missing now, when they're thinking, hey, you know, we're just going to drive our endpoints from the endpoint, instead of looking at the whole picture and taking the best in breed and finding the most cost effective and seamless ways to manage the environment internally. So just to take a look at what we're doing in the healthcare space, which is very exciting, is we're starting to integrate medical grade machines now that have, we have RFID readers now embedded into the bezels of these machines, where you can simply take your take your badge, tap the bezel, the bottom of the monitor, and be logged in very comfortably and very seamlessly. So quick look at this guy. Great for any kind of workstations on wheels, for any kind of carts in hospitals. And because they meet medical compliance standards, you can clean them. That's what I was talking about earlier, your comparison between IPS and your standard display. 178 degrees. Again, yeah, you can flip these guys around into any kind of portrait. yeah, everything has a simple DP out. Here it is sitting on a workstation on wheels, like I was talking about. So all our machines are going to feature 6 USB ports. The newer ones will have 4 3.0s and 2 2.0s. But yeah, just a quick look at that. I mean, all these machines, as I previously mentioned, they do come in a Linux edition, but we do make them with Windows 10 IoT, and obviously those machines are going to be a little more robust from a memory and storage standpoint to support that baseline Windows. I can tell you that managing Windows on top of Windows inside of your virtual desktop environments is going to be challenging. You're going to be doing a lot more patching, and I would really, if you're going to look to leverage any of these endpoints, I would strongly advise taking a look at iGel. They've made, I'd say we're doing, out of the millions of dollars of business we're doing every year, I'd say about 85% of our units are going out as iGel machines at this time. So happy to report that. We want to outfit every type of user there is in an organization. So we do have mobile thin clients from 14, 15, 17 inch. Again, every single machine that we touch is certified by iGel. So it means that it can run as if it's an iGel machine itself. For those folks on the phone that are already involved with iGel, I know there are some, so I want to make touched upon. Again, as far as our partnership with this organization, I can't speak enough about it as far as the cost savings, the employee experience, the IT department experience, how secure it is, and just the overall, I call it, this is a future-proof way of looking at end user computing, right? And probably the most cost-effective direction that everyone should be going in as they can. And it looks something like this, right? We want to outfit the people who are on the road, people who are at home, people who are in the office, using Citrix, VMware, Microsoft, however you are, to deliver your apps to the desktop, and using an organization like iGel to manage and deliver profiles. And I think one of the great separators for iGel is their UMS management tool. So any of the folks, any Citrix shops on the phone, you want to think about how to manage your devices in the most effective way, repurpose older devices, get the most out of them that you can before potentially deploying new thin clients. I would say set up a proof of concept with iGel and see what kind of money they can put back into your IT budget. So that's something I would advise.
Yeah, so I'll just
I
add
think
to that.
collaborate.
Go back just one slide, Naveed. I just add to that.
Yeah.
You mentioned Citrix, but also, as you can see there, VMware, Microsoft, and AWS as well. We can help with making sure we get a proof of concept going for you for any of those types of environments that you guys might have. Sorry, go ahead.
No, great. No, it's all good. And again, from a collaborative, I think there's so much traction now between our organizations, iGel, Citrix, XenTegra, LG now, and our ecosystem is so strong. And I think collaboration has been our greatest strong point. And we've been able to use these ecosystem partners that are around iGel and LG and start to really put together effective end user computing solutions for our customers. And just to give some, for the folks on the phone, give some insight into some of the organizations that we're working with and some of the use cases. So I can say we're extremely strong in healthcare, right? As the endpoint in healthcare needs to be secure, it needs to be affordable, it needs to be lightweight, it needs to be catered to a healthcare environment, which is what LG is doing. But for client computing, what we're seeing a lot of the use cases globally now are contact center, and with people being, with the nature of the modern day contact center changing so rapidly, working, on-prem, off-prem, and we've working with organizations like Chewy.com and Wayfair to outfit their on-prem and off-prem contact center employees nationally and globally. So these are, for the folks on the phone, make no mistake about it, this is not an introductory concept. We are doing tremendous work with some of the most, with some of the fastest growing organizations in the world. And we're seeing great success working with, again, these are organizations that we're working directly with XenTegra and iGel and Citrix. So it's been a great happy marriage for all of our organizations, and we hope to see continued success. Our marketing departments, just again, as a side effect of this work in collaboration, there's been, we're making headlines with our marketing departments, and all of the work that we're doing in the healthcare space and in the e-commerce contact center space, we are making some serious inroads with the whole VDI community. So it's something you definitely want to take a look at when it comes to the next step in your VDI endpoint journey. And we'd like to be there alongside of XenTegra to aid in that partnership. So I don't know how much time I took here, but that being said, I would like to open the floor to anybody who has any questions, and I'm happy to field them for you. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Naveed, for that. Guys that are joined, I am again looking through chat, looking at Q&A. We'll definitely bring up those questions. Naveed, we did have one question that I kind of jumped the gun and answered, but I'll still give you a chance. The monitors that LG sells, are they fully compatible and supported by Mac OS?
Yeah, they are. And so LG also, it's funny enough, they have to be, because the 27 Mac has a 27-inch Retina 5K display that LG actually makes one that's LG branded, and Apple makes their own. So they actually OEM. They're one of those organizations that OEMs their glass from LG, and we're able to support that. We used to have this beautiful 34-inch ultra-wide Mac display that was a 5K Mac display too. I don't know if I think COVID really shut down production on that model specifically, because it was such a hard find, and obviously carries a pretty steep price point.
Yeah, and I think that's important for everybody else on the phone to know too. Is a lot of the vendors that you buy monitors from or displays from, they aren't the people who actually make the display. They might be the people who maybe they put it together, maybe they just slap a sticker on it at the end and say, oh yeah, we did this, we sell it to you. But LG's behind a lot of that technology. LG's behind a lot of the makes and models that you see out there. So this is, again, like Naveed said, this is not the first rodeo for LG. This is not the beginning of the show. Very mature organization with very, very good equipment, as I kind of talked about, even that I use and trust at home. So definitely a good company to kind of use for those display needs.
And I would say to everyone on the phone too, this is obviously this discussion was a little more specific to our end user computing business, but naturally, if you're looking to replace monitors, get new monitors for your workplace, reach out to the folks at XenTegra, and they'll get me on the phone, and we'll go through a detailed walkthrough of the specifications that you're looking to deliver to your end users, and as well as notebook PC as well. We're very competitive in that space, and that's a great question, Luis. So if you're talking about our business, Luis asked if there's a conversation about LG TVs, and I don't know if he's talking about consumer TVs or if he's talking about what we do in the meeting space world, and that is our sister organization. So we all fall underneath the same cloud, no pun intended, but we all fall underneath the same organization, which is LG B2B USA. And on one side is digital signage and meeting space, and the other side is the IT business unit. But we work very closely together. So if you have any questions about the collaboration capabilities that LG signage can offer your organizations, I can facilitate that conversation for you very quickly.
Oh, great question. Does anybody else have any more questions while we have everyone on and while we have the expert on, right? I think you guys have already seen that. He's a man that knows his product, and we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
Luis, let's connect sidebar. What's the best to use for split screens? 2 monitors, 1 big curve. Linval, that's a fantastic question, and
yes.
that is, I guess, one of the challenges. Not challenges. It's an adaptability question where you have so many organizations that are, if you're in the IT group, right? If you're managing these devices, I think it's important to listen to the voice of your employee, but also know that sometimes the voice of your employee is not an educated voice as it pertains to the endpoint or their workflow. Because if you were to take, for instance, if you were to take your 2 24-inch monitors and take them away from them and put a big curved display in front of them, it depends on your application delivery too, what kind of apps you're running. And sometimes people love to separate their workflow with a bezel right in between, right? So you put a big thick piece of plastic, or an LG, a thinner piece of plastic in between, and it kind of helps confound the understanding of work for your people. And that's again, that's a question that you have to ask. We have to ask ourselves. Yeah, workspace is getting a lot smaller. So what you need to do is really like Harvey said, put a 34-inch curved display in front of them, and they'll learn, they'll adapt. I promise. Everyone, as far as it pertains to technology, we're all consumers of information, and how we consume it is always adaptable. So as you move on and you move, if you had told people, especially, think about you sitting at home watching TV, and you used to watch a big, even if you had a big screen TV, you had a big rear projection box, it was 55 inches, and it was, it took 5 guys to lift it up. Now, now my nephew can hang a 70-inch ultra wide on my wall, because it's so thin and so light. But the view, everything is an adjustment in how you see your image and how you consume information. So I think that's the answer to your question. I know it's not definitive, but I think it's up to you.
Love that response.
Yeah, so.
Word.
I'm not giving you yes. Oh yeah, I love that too. That's I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Linval, we'll hook up after this call.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with everything Naveed said there. You've got a lot of people who will just say they want 2 monitors to say they want to have 2 monitors and say that they have 2 monitors. You've got a lot of other people who would love to have a big curved monitor just so that they can have a big curved monitor. But when we get into what is more productive for the person using it, a lot of that just goes down to user choice. I don't know if I can say it any better than that. Like, I tried, before I got my big 38, I tried 2 29-inch wide displays and 2 24-inch wide displays, and I just found that for me the curve worked better. Not having to worry about so much hardware on the desk.
Yeah, you're fancy though. You're fancy.
I am, but
fancy.
That's just me. It's user choice. I'm a user when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So I get to choose.
You're a user when it comes to getting your curves too. Hang on. I did want to mention one thing to the folks on the phone too, to piggyback up what Harvey's saying. If it's up to me, eventually, if you're running a virtual, if you're running a virtual environment, and yeah, you don't want to put multiple displays. We have one of my partners. One of my partners is on the phone, Jeremy Kruger, and we're deploying, these 34-inch ultra wide displays. He's one of the minds behind our partnership with Wayfair, and we're just deploying one 34-inch ultra wide client integrated webcam. So you don't need anything. You don't need a PC. You don't need all that clunk. You need monitor, mouse, even if you're running some organizations, soft phone, whatever it is. And using iGel as a tool to harness all of that underneath and push Citrix in and out of there has been very effective for us.
Yes, and I'm realizing again that I'm being a bad host. We've got a $100 Amazon gift card to give away that I haven't even brought up. So Miss Kathy, if you're still around.
I am here. I'm waiting for you.
I knew you would be.
Hey, yes, I've got everybody's name into the wheel of names to randomly pick a winner for today, and all who have stayed on, your name is on here. So we'll share screens. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll share my screen.
You just take over.
Okay, here we go. All right, so we will spin.
Good luck, everybody.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, Luis with the big question about the signage. That's what participation yields for you.
All right. All right. Okay. So I will unshare my screen if I can do that. I always have an issue with that. Okay. Pause. Okay.
Nice.
Sorry about
Well
that.
deserved.
Stop share. There we go. All right. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And thanks
absolutely.
everyone for coming.
Yep. Thanks everyone.
All right,
for,
guys. Take care.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming today. And we definitely appreciate you being on. If you want to, I forgot to stick my email address out there. I'll stick that out in the chat right now for anybody who wants to get in contact with us and talk more about what LG can do for them in their environment. And I'll make sure I bring this guy with me so that we can jump on together and discover what you need and make sure that we're addressing it appropriately.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you.